I don't know who needs to hear this, but I feel it placed upon me in the spirit to share a little mini testimony with you all on something that I've just gone through, that I've just came out of, in hopes that it could encourage someone out there that's currently in a waiting season or in a season where they feel like they're in a wilderness. So we're going to start off by reading Joshua 5, verse 6. But the people of Israel walked 40 years in the wilderness until all the nation, the men of war who came out of Egypt, perished, because they did not obey the voice of the Most High. The Most High swore to them that he would not let them see the land that he had sworn to their fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. Now, if you're not familiar with the story of the Israelites, they basically were slaves in Egypt, and Moses was sent by the Most High to basically free them and take them from A to B. Now, while they were in the transition from going from A to B, they were complaining, they were arguing, they were doubting the Most High, doubting Moses' leadership that was put on him through the Most High. And they were also doing a load of abominable things like worshipping the golden calf. There's a whole bunch of stuff which you can find by reading the story yourself if you're not familiar with it. But it was a tough time. And it was all down to their disobedience that they were kept in the wilderness. Now, if you don't know, to go from A to B, where they were, their journey was supposed to have taken 11 days. However, because of all this disobedience, the Most High kept them there for 40 years. It delayed them, which, just think about that for a second. Literally, an 11-day journey took them 40 years, which is just wild to actually even try to wrap your head around that. But yeah, I know what it kind of feels like to be in the wilderness, and I can relate to this story so much. And I also have a testimony of how being obedient can actually take you out from the wilderness. So that's what I'm going to share today. So 6 months ago, I got married to my husband. We then went to Portugal for a few months to do some farm work and to do a little bit of traveling, because we really want to be self-sufficient one day, and we thought, what better way than to learn firsthand? So that's what we did, and we had a great time for the most part. The countryside out in Portugal is absolutely beautiful. I highly recommend anyone going to Portugal, check it out. It's highly underrated, like not spoken about enough, just how beautiful it actually is out there. But anyway, yeah, once we came back to the UK in January this year, we were technically homeless. We all praise to the Most High, always had a roof over our heads, and that just goes to show that he's always there to protect his children. Although we didn't have a permanent home, we were keeping at bus stations and airports and just places that had roofs that we could keep dry and warm overnight, get our head down for a little bit. But for the most part, we were doing similar to what we were doing in Portugal, and we were like helping people at their farms in exchange for accommodation and a bit of food for the week, which, again, so grateful that we even had that. But we were technically homeless, and our finances were slowly sinking down the drain, where we were traveling quite a bit to different places to do these positions in order to keep the roof over our head and food in our bellies. And it was a really, really tough time. I remember crying out to the Most High most days, most nights, just being absolutely miserable, like questioning him, questioning where he was taking me. I was also going through a lot at the time as well, having cut off toxic family members, having started my healing journey, which I'm on the closest to the end of it now, but still healing, still working through a lot of stuff. But it was really rough and raw back then because it was just the beginning of that journey for me. And things were just all over the place. And then we actually felt called to come to where we are now, which I'm not going to speak on where I am exactly, because there are people that could come across this that I don't want to know my location. So that's going to be kept private. But yeah, we ended up being told by the Most High to come where we are now, to relocate completely. We weren't sure how we were going to do it. or like what lied ahead us. We just knew that we had to come here. So we booked a coach, which we're actually blessed with the money for, from a complete stranger, my ad. We did not know this person at all, and they gave us the exact amount we needed plus more, a little bit extra for food. And we managed to come here, and I'm not even joking, within 11 days our whole life flipped upside down, and we came from being homeless in the wilderness to having this roof over our heads, my husband getting work, coming into some more finances, and just seeing the goodness of the Most High. And that is truly because we decided to be obedient to Him. We took a look at, inwards at ourselves. We looked at what we were doing that wasn't being obedient. There was a lot of things that we both needed to get deliverance from. There was a lot of things that we both needed to admit and to repent from, whether that be pride, ego, the list goes on. And even idolatry, like we were putting each other on pedestals, and just the list is endless. But once we had recognized that, we had repented, and started the journey of getting right with the Most High, that's when things turned for us. And I just wanted to highlight this passage because, as said, it should have taken them 11 days to get from A to B, but because of their disobedience they were left in the wilderness. And this is just an example of it actually being living and breathing in real life. Like, and not that wasn't real life. Like, we were disobedient, we were living in disobedience in so many ways, but once we actually got right with the Most High, that's when He allowed us to get to where we needed to be and to where we are today. And all the blessings have started to flow in, and all the promises that He promised us are starting to flow in. And it's just a testament in itself that when you really do put the Most High first, like, things can change. But I just hope that this can encourage somebody in their waiting season, or in the wilderness season. Take a look inwards. I want to encourage you to really just take a look inwards and just think to yourself, like, is there anything that I'm doing that isn't glorifying the Most High or giving Him honor and praise that He deserves? Maybe there's a bit of idolatry with something, whether that be a celebrity or a hobby, or just, it could be anything. Doesn't necessarily have to be a person, or there could be just pride, ego. There could be something that you're dealing with and being disobedient in, that's causing you to be stagnant, to cause you to be trapped in this wilderness season. And I honestly do promise you that once you get right with the Most High, you truly repent with a circumcised heart, and you step out in faith, in the way that He's telling you to go, things will change. You don't have to always have all the answers. Sometimes it's just taking that step of faith, and then everything will just work out like it has for us. Just wanted to come on here and share that little testimony with you all. Hope it can encourage at least one of you watching. Hope you're all well, and just an encouragement to step out in faith, to be obedient to the Most High, and watch those rewards reap in. Watch everything that He's promised you unfold. Hope you're all well.